Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
Why did you get $500 from Mr. Braga?
The $500 was a deposit. That's all that I charged him to perform. And
when your painting got damaged, did you then keep the deposit?
I did keep the deposit.
And how is it that the painting got damaged? In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. Did you slap him?
I did slap him.
Stop. In that scenario, who should pay for it? Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. You don't provoke people when they're dealing with issues involving their mental health. Now, as a parent, that's the takeaway.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Marcos Braga claims that during a performance at an art gallery, his partner damaged a painting and says he refuses to pay for it. Mr. Braga is suing Pedro Campos in the amount of $500. Mr. Campos is countersuing for $1,800.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas.
Mr. Braga, you're suing Mr. Campos for $500.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
Apparently, this is the painting that got damaged?
Yes, it is.
All right, we're going to talk about that. And Mr. Campos, you're countersuing for $1,800 because you got injured while you were performing this Capoeirart artistry, right? These moves and motion. I had never heard of it before. So explain it to me and for everybody else who's listening what this actually is.
Yes, Your Honor. It's a Brazilian dance. It's involves martial arts as well. Constant motion involved.
And how long have you been engaged in this artistry?
Around 10 years.
All right. And what about you, Mr. Campos?
I've been doing this for about 8 years.
Something happened when the two of you were performing together, right?
That's
Yes.
right, Your Honor.
Who made the decision to even perform together in the first place?
That was my decision.
Okay. Why was that something that you had decided you wanted to do?
Well, I had opened a school for dance about 3 months prior to the event.
Okay.
And I had worked with Pedro before.
Yes.
And I thought he would be a great companion to help me establish and get some credibility for my business.
Okay. And there was some sort of event that you all were at, correct?
That's right, Your Honor.
Let's talk about the event.
Yeah. So, Marcos invites into this event.
Yes.
I hear it's a promotional event for his new school. I've been friends with
The
Marcos.
people that are coming to the event are really there to get more information about the school.
Yes, as well as it was hosted in a gallery.
Okay.
So it was a mix of, observing the gallery as well as learning about the
Seeing the
dance.
artwork at the gallery and seeing the dance and learning about the school.
Yes.
Someone behind you is nodding incessantly, so let me bring her up. You are Miss
Juana Martinez, Your Honor.
Martinez. And Miss Martinez, what's your role? Why are you here today?
I am the art gallerist. I am the owner of Martinez Gallery, where this event was taking place.
So you hosted the event.
Yes.
And what was your understanding as to what was going to take place?
My understanding was that Marcos and Pedro were going to perform their capoeira.
At some point while you all are dancing, something gets damaged.
Correct.
Is that the painting that was damaged?
Yes, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Was it just this painting?
Yes.
Who owns the painting?
I own the painting.
Okay. And as a result of the damage to the painting, who was responsible for the loss from the painting being damaged? Who accepted responsibility? Did you do that, sir?
I made a deposit to Juana, but that was as far as my responsibility went.
Why did you get $500 from Mr. Braga?
The $500 was a deposit. That's all that I charged him to perform.
And when your painting got damaged, did you then keep the deposit?
I did keep the deposit.
And how is it that the painting got damaged?
Well, Your Honor, I actually have some evidence I would like to.
Yes, show me the
submit.
evidence on that. I'll take a look at that. All right, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at stick figures.
Right. So that's a model that I came up with, and
Okay.
This is how I thought that the event was going to go. I see in the in the diagram on the left, we can see.
So here, where you have painting,
right.
That's where that was on display?
Yeah, we were against the wall.
And then you all were right here, and the people were surrounding you.
On the left there is what I expected the scene to be. You know, there would be roped off walls. You know, capoeira can be quite dangerous, so it's important.
Because you have a blue line going across here, but there's still open space between you and the painting.
Right. So what happened was, in the actual event, as portrayed on the right,
yes,
is that the crowd was, you know, coming a little bit more into our space, which forced us closer to.
Oh, so you're saying
wall.
Instead of having all of this room here on the,
right.
on the diagram, you had a limited space, so you were closer to the painting.
That's true.
Coming up on America's Court.
Did he draw that for you?
No, I just assumed that would how it would be, based on other performances I've done.
Okay, there we go. You know what happens when you assume?
Well, apparently I break my ankle.
And later.
So I am the Harry Styles fan. Ever since high school, I've probably been in love with him my whole life, since I've known about him.
In one kind of way.
Well, if I'm being honest, Your Honor, I don't even like men, but I would marry Harry Styles.
Oh, he is the one exception.
He is the one exception.
He would turn that page for you,
yes.
Huh?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Marcos Braga, who is suing Pedro Campos for property damage.
What would be your response to what he drew up in terms of the crowd being a little bit closer in as opposed to being further out, which is what he believed that was going to happen?
The placement of the crowd really had nothing to do with how the painting was damaged. Pedro was...
Well, if you're on the left side, there's more room for you to maneuver versus if you're on the right side, there's less room for you to maneuver. Are you saying that that isn't accurately depicting what took place?
Correct. We had rehearsed prior to the event for 2 hours.
But when you rehearsed, no one was there.
But we were aware of the space that we had were going to occupy.
Right, but if nobody's there and you're aware of the space, and once the crowd comes, they're closer to you, that's going to impact your space.
Which is exactly the point, Your Honor, because they are both professionals. I observed their rehearsals, and I felt they were very competent in their skills and their abilities. And so with the presence of an audience, I was under the impression that they would be able to adjust to their circumstances.
Well, Mr. Campos, what made you think that it was going to be more like on the left-hand side?
I would just think that...
Well, why did you conclude that that's how it was going to be, but that's not ultimately how it was?
I would think Marcos would have taken the precautions to rope off the area.
You're not answering my question. What caused you to conclude that the drawing on the left side was going to be how it was laid out if by the time you got there it was empty? You get there, there's nobody there.
Right.
People start coming. Once they start coming, they're there, you're performing. Where does this drawing on the left come from? In other words, was it a diagrammed out? It's like these are going to be where the people are. Did he draw that for you?
No, I just assumed that would how it would be, based on other performances I've done.
Okay, there we go. You know what happens when you assume?
Well, apparently I break my ankle.
Right. And that's exactly what happened. You did a flip and you went into the picture and then you fell and hurt yourself.
That's right, Your Honor.
You got paid $200.
That's true.
Why are you entitled to more monies if you are the reason that you ultimately ended up in the situation that you were in?
I originally didn't want to sue for anything, but after Marcos came to me with this lawsuit, I had to sue him back for the expenses of the physical therapy that I had to go through.
You were just going to eat those costs.
That's right, Your Honor.
All right. Why should he have to pay for the deposit when you hired him as an employee? Why wouldn't you just have some sort of insurance on your own? Or, I mean, it's not like he just came there and tore the place up. He's performing, and it was clearly an accident. So why does he have to absorb that cost if he's in the scope of his employment?
The performance that he put on at the end of our 20-minute segment was not what we had rehearsed. So it is not what we had.
What is it that he did in the? Because I don't know what this looks like. No one brought me any video or pictures or anything.
Can I present to you some evidence, Your Honor?
Yes, please. Absolutely. Let's take a look. Is this everything?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So These would be the moves that the two of you would be engaged in. Yes?
Yes, that's correct.
And then the next image is we have someone dancing.
Yes, that's one of my more advanced students.
So that's an example of what takes place when you're doing this capoeira dance form.
Correct.
All right, Ms. Martinez, you may be seated. Thank you for your testimony. All right, we're going to start with the physical therapy. Mr. Campos, based on the evidence and testimony before this court, the gavel is going to come down in favor of the plaintiff and against you. Because if this is something that you do for a living, unless you could show negligence on the part of Mr. Braga, you can't meet your burden. And if it was a situation where you came to the place, you practiced, if the crowd was closing in on you, you had a duty to say, I'm going to need you all to back up. But once you kept engaging in the dance, you assumed the risk of potentially harming yourself, which is what happened. And you yourself even said you weren't even going to plan on suing. You were going to eat the cost, right? Did I hear that right?
That's right, Your Honor.
All right. So your matter is dismissed. Now, the question is, should Mr. Campos have to pay the $500?
Absolutely.
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 Well, based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel will come down in favor of the defendant because I say absolutely not. That was the cost of doing business. And again, he wasn't, I haven't heard anything that says he was on drugs, he was drunk, he's doing this 20 minutes of performance, and at some point he just happens to accidentally get into the painting.
Your Honor, he was just...
We're not having a discussion now.
All right, Your Honor.
All right? That is the order. So your matter's dismissed? Your matter's dismissed. That is the order. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled. Both claims have been dismissed.
Just gotta be careful who you go in business with.
Nothing's going to stop me from doing my art, man.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
What was that fight about?
We were getting ready, and I heard her phone go off, and it's natural. I hear a phone go off, I check it. Thought it was mine. And...
You knew it wasn't yours. Come on.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Emilia Bradley claims she missed seeing her favorite artist in concert after arriving too late to enter, and says her ex-girlfriend is to blame. Ms. Bradley is suing Kate House in the amount of $649.
Ms. Bradley, you want $649 for some Harry Styles concert tickets.
that is correct.
All right, prove your case.
All right. Let me take you back 5 years.
Oh, where are we going?
We are going to the beginning of this relationship.
The very beginning?
Well, the beginning of this relationship.
There we go. All right, so the two of you were in a relationship.
Yes.
How long?
5 years.
5 years.
On and off, though.
On and off. Why on and off? And 5 years is a long time to go back and forth.
Sure is.
And so, what was going on with you?
So, in the beginning,
Yes.
we were very in love.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. It always starts off in the beginning, everything's great, and everything was great for you.
Yeah, in the beginning, it was rough. Towards the end, it got a little more smooth,
Okay.
but there was still this one argument neither of us could get over or past.
How do we get to this point of you all going to the concert? Who's the Harry Styles fan?
So, I am the Harry Styles fan. Ever since high school, I've probably been in love with him my whole life, since I've known about him.
In one kind of way.
Well, if I'm being honest, Your Honor, I don't even like men, but I would marry Harry Styles.
Oh, he is the one exception.
He is the one exception.
He would turn that page for you,
Yes,
huh?
yes, and she knows that. She knows that.
And how do you feel about Harry Styles?
I love his fashion, but I don't know his music much.
You're
I'm
like,
more
not
of
so much for me, huh?
Yeah, more
Okay.
like a moral support, you know?
But that was her thing.
Yeah.
Coming up on America's Court.
You understandingly, knowingly, and willingly allowed yourself to participate in a potential scam.
I suppose.
That is illegal.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Amelia Bradley, who is suing Kate House for $649.
You wanted to go see him in concert.
Yes, sir.
You were like, I'll go because I'm your partner.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys didn't end up going because there was a problem.
So I purchased the tickets. I
Yes.
informed her they would be pricey. And come day to the concert, there
Yes.
was another famous fight. And
What was that fight about?
we were getting ready, and I heard her phone go off, and it's natural. I hear a phone go off, I check it. Thought it was mine. And
You knew it wasn't yours. Come on.
That
Really?
is exactly what I
Okay.
said.
Okay. So you were being a little snoopy.
a little.
Do you argue your way through the concert?
No, sir. I
didn't
find
make
the
it.
message that she got a job offer in New York without letting me know at all previous to it. So I was a little blindsided, and she came in, saw that I went through her phone, and we fought for at least 2 hours. We're late to the concert. The thing is, I had a plan. When I bought the tickets, I had to buy them through Craigslist because it was sold out. So I knew there was a possibility that these tickets were sold multiple times. And if we get to the concert first, we have the correct tickets. And I do have evidence that the tickets are correct, they're real, and I have the receipts from the man I bought them from.
So you go anyway, thinking what? It's not going to be a problem?
Well, I did believe the tickets are real, and they are, but I knew there was a possibility that it might have been a scam. And as you can see, we were in fact not let into the venue because the tickets had already been scanned by another person who purchased them, probably by the same person who sold them to me.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
So you understandingly, knowingly, and willingly allowed yourself to participate in a potential scam.
I suppose.
That is illegal. You want to use a legal court system for redress. Help me out with that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel must come down in favor of the defendant. Because the bottom line in all of this is you're not going to have me make a ruling in your favor engaging in fraudulent activity. There was no way you were going to win that case. Because that's not what courts do. If it's a dispute that's legal and it's a question of who should come out one side versus the other, that's one thing. But we're not here to co-sign on fraudulent behavior and activity. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
That pretty much settles it. It was fraud, so hopefully we can leave this clean slate.
I'm just ready to never see you again.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Allen Media Group.